Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, people. Welcome back to In the Trenches with Dr. Tammy. Now, you know I can't start this episode without saying something to my sisters. Happy Founders Day. Happy Founders Day to all of the finer ladies in Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated. Happy Founders Day, sisters. Today's episode, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about something that's a little bit near and dear to my heart, and it's definitely the appropriate day to do so. You see, I was thinking a great deal here recently about not just my life, but those who have entered my life and made a positive impact on who it is that I am. And because they have been there, I find that it's important for us to talk about that. You know, we spend a lot of time on the podcast talking about relationships. I promised you that we would talk about things that were courageous conversations, and you've heard me speak about some of those things. But today, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you, are you walking in your purpose? You see, I'm asking that question to you because it took me probably close to being in my early 50s to decide to walk in my purpose. I took some time over the years to keep doing and doing and doing the things that I thought society wanted me to do, or I thought I was doing things that would make family members proud. And while I accomplished quite a few things in my lifetime, I never actually took the whole time to put what I wanted first. You know, the schooling, absolutely. I love school. If you know me, you know I'm an educator through and through. Love it. It was great for me. It allowed me to have an impact on the lives of others. You know, I spent some time teaching. Wonderful. Spent some time as an administrator, still making an impact on the lives of students. Worked numerous jobs all over the world, hopefully touching somebody. But in the meantime, I had dreams that were beyond those. And I know you probably say, well, you accomplished quite a bit. You reached some goals. I did. However, I put things on the back burner, things that I wanted to do just for me. So when I ask you, are you walking in your purpose? I'm asking you that because it took me a long time to get there, to decide to follow what I know I was supposed to be following. And if you listen to me on a regular basis, you know I always talk about the fact that I might have a plan, but God has another. So it took me a little bit longer to finally say, okay, Lord, I'm going to listen to you. I did all of that stuff, the schooling, you know, but I kept hearing, there is so much more that you need to do. You can make such a bigger impact on others by reaching some of those goals, those personal goals that you set for yourself. And I just want to say to you that doing that can be it can be a little scary, you know, especially when you have had so much stability in your life. You know, you've had the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 4 or whatever time period of day that your full time job afforded you to be able to pay your bills. And I say that lightly because those of you who attended my Women's Empowerment Brunch, you know that on September 21st, 2022, I quit. And I say that now it's kind of funny at times because I was always the kind that taught others and was taught myself that you don't leave a job without another job. So I created one for me. That was the scary part, to know I'm supposed to be doing something that's bigger than me, to know it, but to take my sweet time to do it. So, yes, I was 52 years old and I decided, girl, it's time for you to walk in your purpose. Quit playing with what you know the Lord has told you to do. So, I started working really hard on the idea of the podcast. You know, planning, thinking about it, ordering things, getting my mind prepared. And I think that oftentimes when we step out there, we forget that we're supposed to step out there on faith. So that's what I did. I knew that at some point I wouldn't have to be concerned. And for me, that point was going to be from the beginning, because all I needed to have was the faith of a what? Of a mustard seed. And I did. And I am telling you that I am encouraging you I am encouraging you to look at yourself, do some really, really reflective thinking and processing of those thoughts. Because for me, I ran from my purpose for so long. I ran and ran because you hear it, It's just like when I became an educator. I ran from that. I was a dental hygienist first, but the Lord told me I'm supposed to be an educator, and I knew that. So I did. And I had a very blessed career as an educator. But then I was still running from me. And I know that we do it often. I know I'm not by myself. I ran from what I know I'm supposed to do, and that is to reach others, to encourage others, to empower others, and especially brown skinned girls like me. So, you know that if you've been following me, you know that I recently became a published author. That is one of the most exciting things that I think that I could ever have done. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because it is going to hopefully speak some life into young girls. Because at some point, someone had to speak life into me. And I'm going to tell you something, what you should be doing right now yourself is speaking life over you, over those dreams that you have, over those goals that you want to accomplish. Now, I'm not telling you to quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is to have a plan. And that's what I did. I developed a plan. But I didn't do that without a lot of thought, without understanding the effort that it took for me. But I also didn't do that without picking the brains of friends of mine, the people in my life, people who care for me, and I in turn also care for them. I was able to sit with them, pick their brains, hear what it means for them to be an entrepreneur. Because if you know anything about entrepreneurship, then you know that the money isn't rolling in every day. It comes periodically at times. sometimes more frequently than others. But you have to have a plan. So I want to mention a couple of people that were instrumental in me taking the time and stepping forward because they too are entrepreneurs. I picked the brains of the owner of Pretty as Pearls, Deb. I am wearing your sweater, Z5B. I listened to her. I watched how she moved. And I know that may sound funny to some of you, but when you're looking to build something or go in a direction that you're not accustomed to going, you need to see what others are doing. You need to understand how they move, what their business plan looks like. How did they implement that? What did they do? And what was special about what it is they're doing? Because truly, it is special. Now, person number two I'd like to mention who really, really was instrumental with me getting this podcast off the ground, taking his time to help me to determine the equipment needed, to actually even come over and show me the ropes, show me what it takes to run a podcast, to understand everything about it. You know, it's something to me for somebody who is an entrepreneur themselves to also take time away from their money making because trust me, entrepreneurs have to work to make that money. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that this person took the time to come and help me. I could reach out. Hey, what do I need for this? How should this look? I don't know how to turn this light on. You know, what do I do? And without blinking an eye, he showed up. He showed up. And I want to show up for him. So, Dr. Antoine Dwayne Jones, CEO of ADJ Media, Majority Greek, Runneth Water, just to name a few. Better get you some of those waters. My favorite. But I'm saying these things to you to help you to understand that I met these people later in my life, in my 50s, and they took the time to show me a kindness. They took the time to say, hey, you're not by yourself. You are going to be all right. Might be scary at times, but you're going to be all right. And I understand it to be true because if you don't know anything else about me, you do know that I am a praying woman. So, of course, I prayed about it. I still do. I know that if I don't do anything except for reach one, I've done my job. But my prayer is that I will reach so many more, that I will uplift, empower, and just be an example of something that someone else might want to do. Will I ever be perfect? Absolutely not. But I am telling you what I am trying to do, and that is to be a role model for somebody. Because there were people I looked up to as well. Teachers, you know, family members. I wanted to be something special. And as you may hear me say that and think, oh, wow, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that I'm expecting to go out here and be some superstar or anything like that. When I say I wanted to be something and someone special, it simply means that one day I would be the reason for someone smiling, for someone not giving up, for them pushing forward, for them reaching their goals. That is what I mean. I want to be special enough to someone when they think of Dr. Tammy, they won't think of glitz and glam. They will think of the kindness that I give. They will think of the humbleness. They will think of the caring of my heart. They will think that, wow, if she doesn't give up, then neither should I. Because we have to remember, we have to remember that our purpose is bigger than us. And the moment that I realized that was the moment I said, girl, you have to do better. And I know when you hear me say that, you think, well, you were already doing okay. Well, yes, I was doing okay, but was I doing enough? Because my purpose, it isn't about me. It is not about me. And the moment that we all realize that our purpose is bigger than us, it's to help somebody else, that is when things change. That is when the world will change. And I know that sounds like a lofty goal, but each one teach one. Let's help each other. So again, I ask you, are you walking in your purpose? If you are not walking in your purpose, I challenge you to develop a plan. I challenge you to identify what your purpose is, because I can guarantee you that you've thought about it. That little voice you're hearing that you think about, and sometimes it's a fleeting thought, and you wonder if you can do this, or you wonder if you could do that, or you see someone else and you're inspired by them. That is when you're starting to think about your purpose. So I'm challenging you today to move in your purpose. Move in your purpose. Walk in your purpose. Now I'm telling you this, it won't always be easy. There will be days when you're challenged. There will be those days, as I mentioned to you before, where you have to give yourself grace and remind yourself that it is okay not to be okay. But guess what? You got this. You do. I am going to continue to walk in my purpose. Even on the days when I feel like it's tough, those are the days when I must push forward the most, because those are the days when I'm setting the biggest examples. Because one thing we have to remember is, even when we think nobody else is looking or watching, they always are. So do this. Do this. Walk in your purpose. If you need me, I'm a message away, a phone call away, because I would rather help you as best I can than to see you walk away from your purpose. Again, you got this. You got this. You got this. We can do it together. If I can do it, little old me, you can too. Happy Friday. And again, to my sisters, happy Founders Day. And unto those, if I left your name out of this podcast and you have helped me in some way, please charge it to my head, not my heart. I am very grateful to any and everyone who has helped me along the way. Much love.